Well, it seems to be that somebody's in a move. How's it going, Tina? Connection lines. It's amazing how we come into unbelievable, grateful, the inquisitive, magnetic, gorgeous, blissful, sunny, warm, fulfilled, playful day that connects in all ways and forms through our connections to infinity of its blessing cycle, to its unconditional love and peace within and peace without, as we come into the harmonious of its connection to its colossus long line communication signals, to its constellation path, to its heart and attention light system, that opens up everything through calculation. Whoa, it's healing done through connections. Oh boy. Anyway, it's busy day today. There's a lot going on right now with the magnetic fields. You understand the connections that's going on right now with the Earth system. We have inner and outer surface. It's connected to two ethers. Now the galactic system rotation center is open up through calculation. That protects the continuous force when it comes into so many vibrational signals. The quantum physics and its vibrational signal activates everything through its connections. So it's a TV reception on a monitor that connects to the Schumann resonance. The atmosphere has Schumann resonance. You have a Schumann resonance, understanding the reading cycles to its position, because it goes on so many waving positions as we go into the rotation cycle of its Earth. So you understand, why does the Earth rotate? Okay, it's changing atmospheres of galaxies and universal core, and it's in a new alignments through its archetype location positions. Now the gravitational pull is changing its position. Remember, we're going in the three-dimensional system. Everything through those connections of those realms that are not there anymore. Their traction location to other galaxy positions. The galaxy is a blending system. It's like a blender. So when you understand what happens is everything that's in a connection to a positive and negative system through thoughts, it goes into its force connections, and it goes into its own realm connection and goes back into its particle system and blends into the atmosphere systems. That's what happens with our thoughts, right? Because they go through triangular forces. So as we come into the ethers, right, the connections of its inner force is an energy dome. Okay, we have an energy dome of the Earth, and we have an energy dome around the Earth. Okay, one keeps the inner cycle, and one keeps the outer surface. So you understand what's going on, okay, with the ethers. Okay, the breaking surface, I broke that through connections. That brings in the galactic family, and everybody wakes up through that connection, right? So you have galactic family here and there. But now the inner system, okay, as I communicate with the Earth through its code frequencies, and it's setting up different coordinates through its magnetic wheel, a magnetic wheel that's connected to its ground formation system. It has its ground, its power, its center position, has its atmospheric position. It has its dome connection because it's a space station to its location position, right? So it's coming into a new magnetic ground of Earth, okay? So the inner cycle of the dome is going to break, okay? So everybody's got to be prepared for that. I'm going to do that through code frequencies. It's really interesting stuff how the Earth is just basically saying, okay, this is what's going to happen next. Like I said, everything that comes force wind, force cycle, force connections. The inner system and its outer system. Understand the inner system of you. Okay, so it's kind of like shedding your skin. Okay, from the old to new. Okay, that's what a snake does. I think through reptile. They change their program setting, they change their vibrational, they change their diet, and they live a healthier life. So we're coming into a new energetic dome. Okay, so it's really powerful. We come into this before we get started. Thinking on much subscribe to my channels that keep your force riding, grand rising to connections. We come into the higher force connection line system. I'm going to show you how it's done through the energy dome, the inner surface of its dome and its outer surface of its space of its dome. The atmosphere system is protecting everything through the lights connection line system. So if we didn't have an energy dome, okay, we all be burned up. Plain and simple, right? So you understand the connections and how it's connected to atmospheres, the galaxy, universal core. It's set up to so many photons, protons, neutrons, electrons. It's a plasma energy web, okay, and it's connected to its surface. You have the inner surface of its grounds, okay, and that's what keeps levitation from humanity keeping in positions. So that keeps them on the ground, right? Because without a magnetic force of a wheel of a magnetic through its Earth rotation system, if it didn't have a spinning rotation, everybody be, whoa, floating in the air. There would be no gravity. So basically you have to have that. So the magnetic wheel itself is changing its rotation system, it's changing its coloration. And this is all done through the sun of its radiation. As we come into the sun dials of its dimension through its portals, you don't want to miss it when it comes into connections. It's going through triangular forces. It's going through its pixels and its activation core system. The core system is going to change everything through all levels of the center position. Okay, So understand that everything through the magnetic forcing of you through its connection is going to change everything to the Earth rotation system. Okay, the gravitational pull is going to change its magnetic force. It's going to change its rotation cycle because the Earth rotation is a space station. You understand the clocking of its mechanism systems. Okay, so everything through the sun and everything through the moon is going to go faster through connection through its cycle. Okay, so everybody's going to feel a bit more fast in speed. They're going to feel more observant. They're going to feel more alive. They're going to be more connected to space inside them. And that's what a magnetic does. It keeps us on the grounds. The three-dimensional system did that for eons and eons and eons and eons. But you understand the rotation of the fifth-dimensional system, okay, is changing the digital frame of the space and its connection. Right? The atmosphere is going to go through so many levels of voicing grid patterns, electronic division level system. The projection levels when it comes into all levels of vibrational systems. Okay. So please feel free to go to my connections on email, go through my simulation therapy, anything through Lightworkers. If you understand where your program is setting, it'll open up your traction positions. If you're having problems with your sanctions or anything through your dream set positions, understanding more your connections, open up your line signals to traction locations. Your tracker system is the most important thing. So it's all about understanding everything through the connections of its Orion belt. It's line signaling to everybody through humanity. So it's understanding the magnetic force you have around you. Okay, without that, you don't have any gravitational pull. You understand the Earth has its gravities and it's spinning so fast, and that's what's keeping everything through a metal of an alloy. But you understand if you're coming into the silicon, out of the silicon into the magnetic force, into the crystalline, it has to change its rotation spin. It has to change its dimensions, and it has to change its colors, and it has to change its environments. Okay, it has to change its feeding source. Okay, because it's going through its rotation of its space, and the time continuum of its space is protecting everything through lights. Okay, so humanity is coming into better traction right now through the magnetics of its wheel, which is really, really interesting when we come into those volumes. So Tina, Dina, how's it going, guys? That was a very powerful class yesterday, eh? On the private link, what I did. It's incredible how you see these things. And basically, I took the team through the moon surface. We went right through the center positions and we went right into Mexico. And basically, I asked Dina, what do you see? All right, I didn't say anything else. Right? I wanted to know how powerful, I was through connection of travel. And she says, Commander, are you waving your hand? And I said, yes, I am. So in position, okay, she's seeing me and everybody else is seeing me in the presence of here and now. That's amazing how you do that through alignment, taking the force team, right, going through the moon and to the other side of its dimension. So you have to send the portal reactions to the sun and everything through its radiation to your body frame system. How you calculate and modify and take everything out of its box frequency to its equation, to Mexico, right? So it's powerful how she sees these things. And that's what I was doing. I was waving to everybody. Okay. So that was incredible. That's how powerful the mind is. It's going beyond the mind of thought, and you can do anything. You can present yourself in the presence. But if you can actually see what's going on, that is extremely, extremely incredible, especially in the presence, right? Because I asked Dina, and it was pretty amazing how she was connecting and say, whoa, are you waving your hand? Right? So she saw me in the windowsill waving my hand, right? I know that because I know the energy. I know the patterns of the energy. I know the atmospheres of its energy. I know the gravitational pull of the Earth. I know the clocking of the Earth. I know the dimensions of Earth. I know the portal. I know the sentient of dimensions of its Earth. So once you understand yourself completely, okay, everything through prophecy becomes into that connection. Right, so I'm connected to so many levels of God frequency, levels of demigods, everything connection to, Isaiah or anything in that connection, Jeshua, any to that location. But you understand your positions and who you are. You can do anything through form and travel anybody in position to with alignment, right? But I wanted to show you how powerful it was. And they also connected to all levels of Archangel Michael. And they say, wow, this is really real. I mean, it's so real. It's kind of understand, it's so complex because you have to understand that you're living, dying, and being reborn. and you're living its existence and what would happen if you did pass. That's why it's so real. So it's understanding that when people pass away, what do you think happens to them? They live their existence of their thoughts that they created. Okay. And the energy system stays in the atmospheric positions, but they're never, ever in position of one direction. They're all in all forms of energy of travel. So they can go here and there instantly. Okay. It's all about them getting their wings and then traveling to positions of other time positions to other dimensions. So when you get your wings, now you become an angel. Okay. So it's complicated stuff. So this is what happens when you go to the other side. The spiritual system opens up. So it's kind of like you're going through that door and humanity has to go one by one. You can't take everybody else. You have to concentrate on yourself. So the most important thing is to realize what is happening and how do we get out of the old program and open up the door and go through. So you got to understand your positions and what you need to do to follow up on that. Okay. So when you see the light in the transitions, okay, you're basically being reborn. Now, if anybody doesn't believe me that, they can go through my email and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. I'll put you through that, okay, because there's a lot of people that are skeptical on so many levels. So you have to understand everything through the life and the death cycle, through its connection. With life, there's death, okay? There's no way of getting out of it, but you have to understand how powerful it is when a person can actually come back to its existence on its earth and be reborn and give everything back to humanity in a way of seeing what happens. People want to know what happens when you pass away. I'm telling you, you're living its existence in your energetic system of dimensional being. It's extremely real. So it's kind of like you're in a video game and you're playing your video game through your creation. All right. So everything is connected to a dream sequence. Right now, the only difference is that when someone passes, the whole body, okay, basically doesn't disappear, but it changes color and the soul goes up, right? So it's kind of like a bluish green. Okay, I know that because I said goodbye to my mom and I asked her, you know, how's she doing? I connected with her before she passed away. And I realized I had the gift and I didn't know that until I found out what was going on, right, through connections. So, and the thing is too, when you know it's time, it's in position, they know you're ready to go. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You can't be afraid of death because life is death and death is life. That's the circle, that's the rotation, that's yin and yang. So you're balancing yourself out. But if you live the existence to know what's going on after you pass, I've done videos on that with Desi Cadre and tell you exactly what happens when you pass. Okay, I can put you to the cycle. Okay, and it's incredible force. It takes you out of the fear of death. Okay, because like I said, life is its cycle and death is its cycle, but it centers the position of you. Okay, because you're living both, right, in its system. So you have to understand there's a connection to you through the physical system, but when you pass away, it's just your body, your carcass, you leave, but the soul goes up. It never, ever, ever disappears. It just goes to a different position of time, of travel. And then when you're reborn again, you're born in a different system, a different solar system, a different connection, a different time, a different frequency, a different code, a different particle system. And they come back on the earth to that position of time. So that's where it comes into the birthday. Like I said, with my birthday is February 25th, 1969. So I was born on that dimension of time, right? So think of your life system as a dream, okay? Because that's all it is. It's all connected to your thoughts and your mind. You have to understand how powerful your dreams are. Your dreams are everything through relation when you pass over. That's exactly what happens when you're dreaming. When you're dreaming, that's exactly the whole process between life and death cycle. People, and they wake up and they say, whoa, that was extremely real. I was there. So if you were there either in the past, the present, or the future. So the mind conceptual system wants you to wake up, right? If you're not ready to wake up, it's because you're not centering your positions. You're not opening your chakra system. You're not understanding the communications of third eye, okay? I took Dina and Laura and the Force team to Connections of Egypt, to Thoth, right? So we went to the birth canal. And you understand, what is that? Well, it's a dimensional setting. It's understanding how to do these things through time, cutting the umbilical cords, right? But when you put somebody through a birth canal back into Egypt, right, 500 or 5,000 years ago, they actually see what goes on with the commander. So it's understanding what's going on with Ashtar. Who is Ashtar, right? Well, the thing is, too, I don't want to get complicated, but I'm giving you what you need to know, the true essence of everything through God, and the true essence of everything through Jeshua, the true essence of everything through archangels and angels. You basically have to live, die, and be reborn to understand everything through your spiritual system. To understand anything through connections is understanding that why I created your school. You can ask anything through connection with Dolores Cannon. Why all of a sudden would Dolores Cannon say, well, when they come, there will be an Earth school, okay? So basically, he's getting everybody prepared, right, of what's going to happen next. I communicated with Dolores Cannon before she passed away, right? So she knows who I am, right? But it doesn't mean that I still can't communicate with her. I can communicate with anything through source, right? Because I'm not in the physical system. I'm on the spiritual system. So it's a new community. It's a new civilization. It's extremely real, okay? So when you pass over in your physical system and you come back as your spiritual dimensional being, that's where everything becomes real. You ask my team how real I am through connections. We travel in so many positions, right? It's amazing how they see these things. They see these things through their dream set positions. But the mind is extremely real because it travels on so many ways and forms of time and dimensions. So putting yourself in those positions or anything through an illustration or drawing can give you what you need to understand what is life and what is death. It's the most powerful, powerful thing that you can consume in your body. If you understand the life that you live and the death that you are going to proceed with life, there's death, but you have to understand life is beautiful and death is beautiful, and you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid, okay? Because if you're afraid, you're not fulfilling yourself through center. So you're all in a connection of fear, and you don't want to put yourself in that position. Oh, I'm going to die because of this. Oh, I'm going to die because of that. If your time and you're ready to go, angels will come. Okay. Now, incoherence, that connection, everything comes into waving cycles, and you'll see the angels and all that. And you say, whoa, I see angels. That's when these things happen. Now, people die for a purpose. People die for a reason because it's time. So basically, it's kind of like they're living their life system, but they live in the negative system too much. That's what happens to life cycle because you're creating a negative of a vibration. If you create negative vibrations, you'll live a lesser life through its life stream. I'm just being practical here, guys. I'm just telling you exactly what happens, okay? When you're gods of everything through form, everything through angels, everybody knows how powerful angels are. Okay, they center their positions, they come on earth and they go back up, but they help you in need, anything through emergencies, right? But now they're surfacing the earth and they're all over the place. People are seeing this through perception. They don't know what reality they're in. They don't know what dimension of time they're in. They don't understand their mind conception. They're separated through the body conception. They're separated through the heart conception. So you have to understand the connections through your reality system. And this connects to your life and death, okay? So if you put your provisions and you live your existence here and now, you will be fulfilled with your life. And you understand more of what death is, okay? Now, people are saying death is scary, even saying the word. But you understand, as you're being programmed, right, you can take out of those programs and put yourself into the life cycle of its program. That will be more fulfilling, and you can live more of a life of its existence. You can put yourself in a better position of your thoughts and travel to anywhere through connections and put yourself in a better evolvement, okay, to its evolution of yourself. You want to live the life to the fullest. And that's what everybody says, right? Stop thinking about things that are harming you, like, don't sweat the small things, right? Just focus on the here and now and your positions and where you are and what you want to accomplish, because people say life is short. Well, if people say life is short, are you referring to me or are you referring to everybody, right? So you have to be cautious in what you say these things, because you're making a wish. Wishes come true, right? If you know what you're doing, right? It's all connected to you. So your vibration is connecting to everything through your life stream and everything through your death cycle. Life stream, death cycle. Now, what is the difference between the life stream and the death cycle? Life stream is the existence of here and now. The death cycle, okay, is the negative system, but it's a beautiful thing. So it's a cycle rotation that you go into. So you separate everything through your body, and your soul goes up. Your soul goes into the death cycle, and then you start seeing provisions of everything that you went through. So you're seeing a projection of your life. Okay, so that's called a realm projection. Okay, a life cycle. Okay, so you come into a life stream, and then you go into a death cycle, and then you go into a life cycle. Right. So as you're going through the life cycle, you're going through its provision before you pass away. And then you go through this tunnel. Okay. I know that because I have been through that. So if I understand what I'm talking about, I'm surely knowing what I'm doing through connections, right? So if I know how to do these things through travel, I certainly know how to do these things on the other side of travels. So your travel positions of your physical system and your travel positions of your spiritual system. Okay, so that's what happens when you pass over. Okay, it's very, very powerful, okay, especially when you're in the physical system and the fifth dimensional system. So giving back to community, right, to the force team, they have to realize their life cycle and everything through their death cycle. They understand everything through its evolution and its revolution. Okay, don't be afraid, okay, of anything, really. Because that's what happens when you pass over. You just basically, you're not afraid of anything. And if you are, you go back in the center position. Okay? So it's kind of like your vibrations have changed, your body has changed, your mind has changed, your thoughts have changed, your reality of your thoughts have changed. Everything through your connection has changed your life system. Okay? Because you lived, you died, and reborn. Now, people have gone through that, through the process. They have lived to tell about it, but come back confused, angry, frustrated. So they're living in existence, but they're not following up on that. And they get more scared, right? So you have to let yourself go of these things, right? Because once you cross over, the last thing to go, okay, is its connection of the mind, all right? So the heart stops beating, okay? Now, when the heart stops beating, you have to understand that you're going through projection of your life. That's what's happening right now. So basically, you're going from the past that you were born, you're going into the middle sanction of your system to connection of a teenager, and then you go into an adolescent to an adult. This is the cycles that you go through life and death. You guys have to know these things so you can be more prepared, okay, and not be afraid of death, okay? So it's understanding when you're going through this life cycle through projection, okay, it opens up everything through your connections of your identity. So you come into the higher self of its connection, right? So the higher self is either in the past or the higher self in the present or the higher self's in the future. But you got to present yourself here and now in its connection, right? So if you don't understand your information through your vibrational of your body system, you're not connecting to anything through healing, right? You're destroying everything in your body. So people pass away because of that, because they're creating their anomalies of negative vibration. That vibration puts you into a lower division of vibration, and the light goes out through calculation. Okay, so the only thing you have left right now is your pride. Okay, so once that goes, your dichotomy separates, and the heart just, like I said from yesterday. Okay, so the heart's not reacting anymore. Okay, so it's the heart that's not last to go. It's the mind. Okay, it's the soul. All right. So the soul is a generator. It keeps you pumping, right? And then you have everything through the spine, but you have the center. Everything through the center position is you through the soul identification. The soul is identifying you in your life and how much you want to live. Okay, not how much you want to die, how much you want to live, right? So you got to be fulfilled with yourself. You got to see that destiny rise, right? And when you see something that comes across like Kismet or anything in that connection, now you're connecting to the constellation of its path. And now you're connected to all formations of gods. And now you connect to angels and archangels and everything that you want to see. Now, I took my team to that connection to see Archangel Michael, and they say, I don't want to go back. I'm so loved. You feel love, right? Because that's what angels provide. They're extremely real, full of energy, right? They're all inside you, ready to help you, guide you, push you where you need to go, help you, heal you, okay? So you understand the coloration, the vibrational signals. You understand they're all in different dimensions of time. So understand your provisions and your acting cycles. Now you're understanding their connections because they've passed over. But see, the thing is too, is that you're everything through angels and archangels. And that's why it's so powerful, because you're creating your own anomaly of space and time of its positions. You're creating your own activity of its reality system, all connected to your clocking, right? So when you put yourself in those positions, and you cross over, you're becoming real to its existence of its spiritual, okay? It becomes a spiritual system into the simulation. And that's why it's confusing, because now you're coming into a new matrix of communication, right? There's all communication in a three-dimensional system, right? But you have to understand the Earth is coming into a new computer era of technology, guys. So humanity isn't prepared. So the only way to do that is to change the gravitation of its Earth, right? And to do that is to change the magnetic of its wheel, right? So I had to give you all these things because it's all connected. You're on the surface, the inner and the outer surface of its cycle, of its Earth system. You're connected to everything through the magnetic forcing of its wheel. That's why you're able to ground yourself on the Earth, right? Because if it didn't have a magnetic wheel through a plasma web, the center position of the Earth and everybody be floating into heavens above, right? So you have to have traction. You have to have everything connection. So you have to have connection to the Earth of its grounds. You have to have connections of the power center of its position, because that's what holds up the Earth. There's three central systems, 1, 2, 3. And then you have the energy fields, okay? So it's all connected. You can't see it until you see it through perception, right? Now, my team is extremely high rise, and that's how they're able to see more, feel more, touch more, hear more, taste more. It's the senses. Your senses kick in because now you're into the spiritual system. You have better taste. You have better communication with telepathy from one to another. Now you get into the codes, like I said, with 432, but you're connecting to higher forces of acceleration of speed through time, through codes. It's connecting to all your forms of light through connections, right? And then when you understand more of your travels, you go into the past, the present, and the future, then you understand everything through your connection of your life and your death cycle, okay? So you live the life stream, you go into the death cycle, you go into the life cycle, okay? So it's projecting what you want to see through connections of your thoughts just before you go, right? And that's where you go, into the atmospheres, and it blends into the galaxies, right? So it's incredible what happens to your soul. So either your soul's ready to go through time, or your soul stays in your body through time, which gets connected and it gets stuck between two realities, the two worlds. And that's where you come into a plasma of a ghost. Ghosts are extremely real, especially when you're in a spiritual system. Remember, you're crossing over. Here's a door, okay? This is the reality of the Earth. This is the reality of the spiritual system. When you pass over, you're going through, right? So you have to understand how real it is, okay? So you got to put yourself in creation because it's all created through love and activation, okay? There's no right or wrong. There's no misconception, okay? There's no intrusion. It's everything through love. And you feel warm and welcome. That's what you want. You know, you want to feel you're connected. You're finally connecting to everything that's happening with you. That's the most important thing we have to go through when we go through our life. You have to benefit yourself and you say, okay, did I get everything that I needed? Did I do everything that I wanted? Did I achieve everything I could see myself doing? If you put yourself in these positions, there's no problem at all. You achieve what you wanted to do. Your success in always informs when it comes into your life system, right? But a lot of people are having problems because all they think about 5, 10 years ahead, they're always thinking negative, 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 negative down the road. If you keep doing that, your life cycle is not going to spin on rotation anymore. It's going to go up through traction, and you're not going to have any communication with your body. It's all going to be confliction motions, guys. And you're going to go through interrogation, you're going to go through viruses, and all the vibrational signals are going to drop to its position, and your light goes out through its fruition. Okay? So I think it's important that you guys understand everything through your life and your death cycle. It's the most important thing that you have to live, because it's all connected to your connections of yin and yang, the birthing of yin and yang, and how it all comes together, right? So, because there's no separation with that, okay? There's no life and there's no death. It's life and death is one system, one calculation. That's the connection to you through your life system. And that's why people are, light in one area, dark in another area. Everybody's saying, it's gray and white, gray and black, white and dark, wherever you are through connection of your mind, through your thoughts. So you're putting yourself in those positions. Nobody else is. And you're creating everything through your life stream. Okay? So you got to stop faulting others. Okay? You got to stop blaming others. The only person that you can blame is yourself, because you put yourself in that position. And that's what's happening with the earth right now. Okay? So it's giving you answers upon and what you need to do to feel yourself better, how to communicate with the heart system, how to understand everything through perception and what you see through calculation, how to understand everything through your audios and everything through your voicing patterns, your voicing grids, your voicing commute. Okay? Do you know how powerful it is if you understand how to travel through your mind with no problem? Humanity's having problems just trying to communicate with themselves. Okay? We're not even talking about the mind. We're talking about the brain. Where is your brain right now? Where is it setting? How are you supposed to travel if you don't understand the spiritual system of yourself? This goes way, way back to the pharaohs and the meridians, and why you guys, again, were giving a chakra system to communicate with the earth. It all starts with meditation. It all starts with your voice. Everybody has a voice. It's time for everybody to be heard. Okay? Now you channel that voice and you send out information. You become a channeler. Okay? You become a lightsaber. Okay? Not a lightsaber, like Star Wars. Lightsaber. So that means you're connecting to your energy and your wings, and basically it's all about you giving back, okay, what you represent. Okay? Now you're in the physical system, but you have to understand that you're also in the spiritual system. So the only way to understand that is to actually to know that there is your life and there is a death cycle, but you have to live, die, and be reborn to understand everything through creation. That's the only way anybody can understand anything. So the earth is putting everybody into that level. Get into your own creation, crossing over, see what it's like through the light, through the tunnel. Everybody's got to go through the tunnel, but you got to understand you can't carry everybody else because you're burdening yourself. When I went way back through connections, before I went through transformation, I had a big, big chip on my shoulder. A friend came to me and said, why are you trying to figure out the earth in 5 minutes? He was right. So all I had to do is flick, gone, right? So try to look at yourself as simple. Try to look at life as simple, okay? And everything around you, okay, to your connections will be simplified. Everything around you will be a lot more easier just to take, So if you get into cycles of confusion or anything like that, go back in the center, get into the calming position of you. Okay, try to go into the travels of your thoughts, try to go into the waters, try to go into tranquility, try to go into Jophiel, the flower of love, the flower of life, the flower of God. That's what Archangel Jophiel is. You have to understand the representations of angels and archangels, guys, before you understand the life and death cycles. Okay? So, and there's a connection to angel of death. I'm very informative. right? Very informative with Archangel Azrael. Okay. Azrith, Azrael. So you have to understand the connections and why they form on so many different levels of the connections. Okay. Of heal. Okay. God heal. Right. So you understand the 10 Commandments and why it was put on its earth, why it was scriptured. Okay. By grandfather. Okay. So it's complicated stuff if you don't understand the life cycle of you. Then you're not going to understand the death cycle of you fully and completely. So get in relation, live the here and now, live the presence, and make things a lot more simpler for you. You'll find life a lot more easier. Okay. And start getting into the calming center of your position. If somebody's yelling at you, so what? How does that reflect to you? Are you going to reflect back, or are you just going to ignore it? So you go into your energy hub, you go into your meditation, close your eyes if you have to, you go back in the center position, you ask your angels for help, you ask your archangels for provide you information. Right? You can also push the energy away from that person because they don't understand your interaction. They don't understand your vibration, they don't understand your energy. They don't understand your dimensions of time. Okay? So it's just go away, talk to the hand. That's what they say, talk to the hand. Because a lot of people put themselves in their positions, and those are the people that need help. Not you. It's the people that are angry. They're angry with the world because they don't understand their life. And all they can think about is death. That's all they can think about because that's all they come across, right? When you come into those levels of anything through connection. When somebody says something to you, right, either you believe it or you don't believe it. Now you're in that cycle, it's rotation to their system. Now you're connected to their thoughts. Now you're putting yourself in their position. Okay. So you're in their TV reception. Okay, see what's happening through that cycle? You want to live your own life. You want to live your own cycle. You want to live your own life stream. Okay. No matter what anybody else says. Okay. So put yourself in those positions and you find yourself in so many ways of simplicity. Life has to be simple. That's all it is. It's not complicated. You complicate it by listening to other things, to listen to this person, to listening to that person. Okay, listen to yourself within. That's the communication. That's the answer. The heart never lies. It tells the truth. Okay, like I said, it's next to impossible for the heart that you live in a life cycle, okay, to tell you wrong. It's next to impossible. Okay. So if you understand that, then you understand your life and where it's going. Okay. You can even ask, right? Ask and you shall receive, right? But the only way to do that is to give back. Because if you start thinking about yourself, sure, you're going to manifest things and all that, but you understand you're going on a different karma. Okay. You're not going in its relation. You're not going forward with its connection. Okay. Because there's always something that comes up, okay, and bites you in the ass, right? That's karma, reaches karma, okay? Do unto others as they would do unto you. If it is to be, it's up to me. That's one thing I learned in high school, and I always keep that with me. I always keep that in my wallet, guys. That alone is energy. That alone brings me force. So find a scripture that you can identify, that you can hold, that is value. Put it in your wallet, put it in your purse, put it in your car. Just as long as you know you have it every single day. It's a reminder to you how powerful you are. That alone, once you see these things, it puts you into a more of a simplified act. It will put you in a better position to your heart system. It will put you in a better position of your soul identification. And it'll put you in a better position on how to move forward with its connection. Okay? It's just a reminder. Okay? That's all it is. Okay? And I always carry it with me. So if you have something like that, that alone is a scripture. That alone is the Bible. Okay? Now, the Bible is there's a lot of things there. I really don't want to get into that because there's a lot of things that you don't understand about the Bible. Okay, why all of a sudden we have an Old Testament and now we have a King James Bible? Why do we have two Bibles? Right? Two Bibles. Okay. The peace treaty on one level, the B sector unit, and we have two. The old Bible and everything through the King James. Why do we have two Bibles? Why? That's confusion alone, right? So you got to ask yourself, what is propaganda? What is real? What is true? You put yourself in those positions, right? So you have to look at yourself as your own Bible, your own scripture, your own life, okay? Like I said, you write it down on a log, okay? And you're flipping, you're channeling, you're positioning, you're activating, you're operating, you're putting your positions in what you want to do in the next 5, 10 years. So people are smart in that way. So they know exactly what they're doing, okay? So if you underestimate what you can do, okay, and realize what you can do in a day, okay, and not realize, okay, well, what have I done in a year? Why are you focusing on a year when you can be focusing on now? And that's confusing to the mind. So the mind and the brain has to understand the conception when it comes into positive and negative things. You write it down, positive, negative. What are the positive things in my life? What are the negative things in my life? Yes, it's super powerful, isn't it, Dina? But I'm just getting more into philosophical. You got your commander as a practical level of a connection to a psychological phrasing teacher or anything through a spiritual coach or anything through that connection. It's all, the psychosis, it's all about the psychology of you. The psychology of your life and the psychology of your death is the center position of you. That's the only way you can understand the things. So if you know you have a life and you know you have a death, the center position in you will not leave. It will center positions and it will fill your life because now you understand everything through its relation of what life is, and then you understand everything through its connection of what death is. That's the center position of its presence, of the here and now. That will bring you forward and you'll get more through manifestation. And life will be a lot more simpler, like I said. Okay. So let's get into your questions before we go into the structural locations of the magnetic wheels of the Earth. All right. Commanders, yeah. Death, dimensional, exodus, yeah, alteration, eternity. Yep. Yeah, everybody, new viewers are going to find with my force team, they have high-rise words. So they're going through their program setting. That's why they're informative with their energy system through electronics. So could be helix or healing. Well, anything through acceleration, you have to understand your box frequency levels of E equals MC squared. Okay, you come into those connections, you take it out as equation, right? And you get into high levels of helix. Okay, hydrant, those are levels of connection through all weather connections of travel to positions of your plasmas, because you come into helium, you come into H2O, plasma. You understand your plasma energies and you understand your vortex locations to positions when you come into acceleration of time capacitors. Now I said that in Space Discoveries, first one where I was talking about vortex, how to travel through shapes. But you have to understand your positions, your gravity, your power, and your atmospheres before you can travel out of the 12 positions. Because if you don't understand your 12 rotation centers, 7 within the body, 5 in the atmosphere, there's no way you can travel to higher realms of connection, because you're not going to be able to get into your sentient or what you see through coloration, light, or shape. So when you're going through the sentient, you're going past everything through its Rubik's Cube, its tesseract, or anything through its trifactors. You're changing shapes. You're going to higher dimensions. You're going to higher communication of matrix. That's where you come into the time frames of its codes. Now you're changing positions through your projections. Now you're opening up everything through your cycle to its rotation, and everything through your placebos is changing your thought recognitions to your digital frame. That puts you in your thought recognition of time to its connection. It's complicated stuff, right? But it's easier if you understand it. If you simplify the fact of travel, because look at it this way. You have a mind, you have a brain, you have a heart, and you have a soul. It's knowing how to use all this. That's all it is. That's simple. What do you use with the soul? What is the soul? A lot of people don't know what the soul is. People say this, people say that. How do I know? How do I know what it is? Right? Well, you have to get connected with the earth. A lot of people are separate from the earth. A lot of people are on other planets, other positions, right? People are on the earth, but they're not sure where on the earth. So you have to understand yourself where they are through the connection of the plane. They're going through audio codes. They're going through repetition codes. They're going through line signal codes. They're going through so many different code references through its connection. They're not understanding their identity force through its lights. And that's why it's so confusing, because you're creating everything through vibration, just through your thoughts. Okay? So you understand what the mind is and what it does. What does the brain do? What is the soul identifying through travel of thought? What is the heart? What's the purpose of having a heart? A lot of people don't understand that either. Okay? What is the purpose of having perceptions? What is the purpose of having connections to seeing? Right? Talking, hearing, right? Giving yourself freedom of speech, right? When you give that back, that's energetics, that's patterns. You're sending out energy, you're setting out signals of positive systems to your body activation line system. So you're connected to the earth, you're back in traction to communications to a chakra system. Now you feel better. Whoa, this is great. This is powerful, powerful stuff. Look what I just finished doing. Now everything is becoming easier for you. And its simplicity is coming in because now you understand the true essence of what life is and what death is. It's all one cycle. It doesn't separate, guys. Right? That's why there's so much confusion. It's not life/death. It doesn't exist. It's life cycle, death cycle. That's the continuous force. Right? If you don't understand your life then death cycle, you go on your karma wheel, traction location, back in a round position, dark matter position, you go on the back force. You want to go forward, not backward in life. Okay? You don't have existence if you go back into the past, especially if you're creating it through a higher self. Because remember, if it's created through the higher self, you're creating it through your mind or your thought. And now you create to all different connections of space. You're opening up different things. Right? Through the higher self or avatar, where you are in position of time, of travel, of your thoughts. It's simple, guys. You have a mind, you have a brain, your heart, and the soul. What is it doing for you to bring yourself forward? Okay, is it helping you? Okay, or is it not helping you? How do I understand this? A lot of people have to go to psychiatrists. Some help, some don't. But see, the thing is, your psychiatrist is you within inside. So it's all about communicating with your energy system within the chakra system. That's how you identify yourself. It's through your heart. And then you realize what the alpha and omega and the micro and the macro are. The Agata and the Gata. Okay. The portal open and the portal close to its reopen. So there's never ever an end in space. So that's like saying my thoughts are never connected. They are always connected. It's just that you lose traction of separation through your thoughts. And you always separate a thought. So let's say you get connections of this. All right, it's really interesting. Now, remember I was telling you about the thoughts and recognition of time, how it spaces out. It's all about your behavioral system, what you're doing through calculation. So this puts you in position through modifications. Just show you here. All right. All right, we're going to get into the magnetic earth. Just hold on a second. I just want to do this one thing. Okay, so let's say we got a tree. Okay. All right, so now you see the full continuum, right? The tree, right? There's no line separation, right? Oh, there's a little one right here. See that? See how it's a little bit separated? So I changed the communication signal of vibration to its E. So the E does not have any relation to this E, this R, or this T. That's confusion to the T, the R, and everything through the E. So it confuses the brain location just by having a little separation of its line signal. Remember, I'm attention to detail, so I see everything. So you have to look at this as a person. You have to look at this as intelligence through lines. You're actually communicating because you're sending out your thoughts. Your thoughts are everything through the psychological. It's damage. So you're damaging yourself if you open up spaces of lines like this. That's extremely bad. No connection at all. So this line signal can't communicate with this, and it will have no relation to the R, E, or E, right? Powerful, isn't it? So this is how you use your alphabetical system to your connection of your projections and what you see through your Schumann resonance, because your Schumann resonance is its connection. So when you say tree, you're going like this through connection. One goes up and one goes down. One goes up, one goes down. One goes center, one goes up. That's the vibration of tree, right? That's your Schumann resonance from your thought. So you're creating your tree of its thought, but the Schumann resonance is not connecting because it's line signal through its operation to its spacing system. It's not connected. So it's your voicing pattern that changes. So if you say tree and you feel anxiety, it's going to go like that. And it's not going to connect to your Schumann of your body through your vibration, through your holographic, to your thoughts of its recognition of time through its codes. Okay? So make sure when you're using your thoughts, be calm and center through vibration, and you'll come up with this through calculation. Okay? And everything is line signal in the traction. Nothing is separated. So you got full rotation, and you can bring your thought into connection. Right? So, all right. So I'm going to show you an illustration diagram program. Hopefully you guys aren't confused. I know you're saying, wow. Who'd have thought that anything through your thoughts is intelligence? So think of your intelligence communicating with a friend or a foe or anything connection. I'm not talking about enemies, right? Never see an enemy as a, enemy within itself, because you're creating it through your thoughts. It's really interesting thing he's saying, the psychological system, the yin and yang through its connection. All right, so basically what I've set up is I set up the moon program setting. I've set up the sun through its radiation cycle. Now there's pattern, location, positions, right? Now we have an energy dome, which is the inner surface. Now everything through the connection is the city surface. Now we have everything through the gravity system. We start off with this through calculation. All right, it's extremely powerful, isn't it? When you look at it. So this is the energy dome of its earth, of its city, anything through its country location. Remember, changing its shapes and everything through its connection of its earth rotation is changing the new rotation of its earth and its connection to its coloration. That factors levels to its alignment, to its own Schumann resonance. So the earth is coming into a new Schumann resonance. Okay? So when it does that, the energy dome cracks, right? All right, and opens up. Okay, so that's what's happening right now with the inner cycle. It's opened up now through connection, right? So it's tracking the location to its position. It's opening up through its cycle position, right? So everything through the moon program setting through its connection. Line signals its channel operation line system through calculation modification. All right. It's interesting that you come into these tactic level systems. Okay, so you got the moon program setting, and you got the sun rotation coming into position, right? The new life cycle begins into the magnetic force of the gravitational pull. So it connects to its line signal, right, like this. All right, now it comes into that connection, everything at the application level. The gravity system reads its particle system, comes up through calculation. All right, centering its connection right now. Okay, so the surfacing location position opens up all traction locations. So the energy dome of its inner surface of the Earth rotation is no longer in its connection. It's coming into a new traction location, to a new gravity set, to a new magnetic highway information system through its calculation. Hooah! So that's what's happening with its Earth rotation. It's setting up new rotation cycles at dimensions of time. That's what's happening with the Earth, the simulation interface connections. So anyway, let's go through your questions. All right. Exodus, alterations of eternity. I like that last word is healing. Dimensional, yeah. The Earth has chakra system, all makes sense. Yep, it has to, because it's all connected to you, right? Talk to the hand, yeah. Super powerful, yeah. So, if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know, because you have to understand, especially with my emails, there's a lot of people that, there's a lot of healers out there that really don't know what they're doing, and it's pretty scary, and you got to be cautious on that. And your intelligence is telling you, no, this is not right. You can't just say, hey, your third eye is open. I got to make that very well clear, everybody, because there's a lot of people out there that are channeling wrong energy, right? So it's all about putting you on that backing cycle. It's all about you putting you on that karma wheel. It's all about low vibrating your systems. But you want to put your positions and bring yourself forward through its connection. Okay? You want to know how powerful you are through your connections of lights. But the inner system, or the inner surface right now, okay, is now separated through its plasma of its webs. So we're coming into new rotation of a gravitational pull of the Earth. Everybody's going to feel that. So it's connected in all ways and forms. You're going to feel fantastic. And that's what's amazing, is you're going to feel fantastic. Okay, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Okay, so the conceptual system of the ground formations of its Earth, okay, it's kind of like it's a wind cycling through a magnetic wheel. So that wheel is going to change your dimensions of time through its position of its vibration. And that's why it's so powerful, because now you connect to higher forces of its connection to really understand what the Earth is. It's everything through its chakra, because you're connected to everything through center of its Earth rotation. All right. So, lightsaber, yeah. Yep. Last word is healing. Yeah. So, you want to go into healing? Let me know. You want to go into traction positions? Let me know. You want to go into the brain function level connections? Let me know. I can heal you in any way and form through connections, through electronic division, vibrational signals, anything through your coloration system, your optical levels where you are through division, your practical levels where you are through your thoughts of recognition, how you can not separate your thoughts through connection, right? Because as soon as you separate your thoughts, okay, you're destroying everything through your body of vibration. So it's amazing how you have to see your thoughts as intelligence. See everything around you as intelligence. That's where it becomes simple, right? To the fact of its relation. Because it's all about psychological. Reading psychological of you is everything through its simulation. Singularity line division. Okay? So like I said, when you put yourself in these positions, before I go, okay, you're saying, no, don't go. I'm learning so much more. Yeah, we want to go into the reviews, but I had to get that out and tell you exactly what's going on, because the Earth is going through confirmation, telling me exactly what I need to get back through connections, through this code reference. But we'll get into the 100 traction positions of the chakras locations, because I got to prioritize your positions in that connection. So once you come into that connection, elevator music. All right. So you get a line signal like this. All right. Now, here's a line signal traveling to the right position. You got the right vibrations, and you got the right circle rotation center to its position, right? Straight lace, right up through connections. Perfect. Now, if you have this, you're not connecting. You're stopping and go with your line signals, right? So these are your thoughts that are separating through the mind, right? So if they're separating, you're not going to have vibrations. Your vibrations are going to drop like this, because they're not connecting. They're separating, right? And everything through circle rotation is going to be off center through connections. It's not going to understand its position. So it's not going to travel through its recognition of time through position. Look at that to that. Look at the comparison. Everything through line signal separation, everything through its vibration of its circle rotation. Perfect circle rotation, line signal, and everything through its thought. No separation. Separation there, right? This is balance. This isn't balance, right? So you have to balance your life through your thoughts, because it's all connected to your Schumann resonance, right? So everybody knows the Earth has its own Schumann resonance, but it's all related to you through vibration. So it's understanding the seismographic activity through its magnetic force of its wheel, because it connects in all ways and forms, right? So when you're in that position and you see the Earth in its connection like this, okay, this is the Earth, okay? I'm just going to draw it very quick and show you what it is. Now, you understand why everybody sees this and they don't see anything else, okay? It's because you have to go beyond the center. Once you go beyond the center, the Earth comes into position like this through calculation, okay? When you see it through perception, okay? And then you take it out of its equation through its connection, through its line signal of its activation line system, right? And then you see everything through its shapes and anomalies. So the shape of itself becomes its own connection. It's allocated to its position, comes into its diamond core position of its line signal, to its direction, to its position, right? It opens up all its channel location positions, okay? Because the Earth is nothing but shapes and anomalies through its connection. So it formulates in so many line signals of its direction position, okay? So the actual Earth, okay, you're gonna love this. The actual Earth is not a circle. This is the Earth. Okay? So if you understand what I'm seeing, you have to understand what it is. You understand the shapes. You understand the anomalies of the shapes. You understand it's a space station. It's all connected to satellite positions. It's all connected to the ground position, the center rotation. You understand the center position location. All right? Center position and the atmosphere positions. Okay? Now when you understand that, the actual Earth looks like this through calculation. It's complicated. It's a maze, right? But you understand the gravitation, good system. That alone, you guys are blown away, right? You're thinking, oh, wait, the Earth isn't round? No, it's not round. It's a big, humongous maze. Okay? This is the Earth in the simulation, what you see through perception. Okay? So it's complicated stuff if you don't understand your life and death cycles of the Earth. You understand the history of the Earth and why we go into separation. You understand what it is back in history and history and history. What is the Earth? So the Earth is coming together. It's forming. It's coming into the fifth dimensional system. It's creating through its own shapes. But that's what the Earth looks like in the simulation. Okay? It's not what you think it is. Right? So people say the Earth is flat. No, it's not flat. You're only seeing one angle. You're only seeing center position. But if you understand what the Earth is, you understand it's not just a space station, it's everything through the matrix of communication. Okay, and that's why people get into the matrix and they see the Earth, they don't, whoa, what is this? I'm seeing the Earth, but it doesn't look like the Earth. I'm seeing this. What is going on? I'm seeing shapes, I'm seeing lines, I'm seeing lacing lines, I'm seeing pyramids. So you understand everything the center position of you is its connection to its gravity system. So when you wake up, you see everything through the gravities, and then you see everything through the powers, and then you see everything through the atmospheres. So the Earth will show you what it looks like in this simulation. And that's confusing to humanity because they go against into the vibration of its Earth system to its rotation. Okay? Complicated, isn't it? So, and if I color it in, you actually see what it is, because the Earth is not one color, it's all one color. It's all color, right? So it's not a fabrication of what you see. Now the country line systems allocates its position, right, through a shape and anomaly. So you got connections of Brazil, you got connections. Now this is all solar graph or perception. Okay. And then you got everything over here. So it kind of looks like this. All right. See that? right? These are the shapes of the countries, right? So you understand everything through connection forms into its position, right? So come in attraction location, and then you understand everything through its water of its defense location position. Okay? So, yep, that's right, Dana. Yeah, it is a Merkaba. Very good. Yeah, Dana's catching on. That's what the Earth is. It's a matrix Merkaba, but it's in the simulation. But that's what it looks like. So if you color it in to attraction positions, let's just say you color in, you actually see what I'm talking about through shapes. Okay. So it's a holographic image of country positions of perception. That's why you see it, right? So everything in relation that you see is a fabrication. But everything I see is its real of its definition to its simulation of its Earth rotation. This is the Earth in the simulation. This is the real Earth. Okay? So now you understand what it is. It's a Merkaba, yeah, a space and time continuum. It's a teleportation device that travels to all positions. So wherever the Earth goes, you go. Wherever you go, the Earth goes, right? So it's all about you're a magnetic force to the sun, and you're everything through a program setting a behavioral system to the moon, and everything through connections of Jupiter, okay, is your software and your hardwares of your surfing engines. Really interesting, powerful stuff, right? So I know you guys are blown away, eh? It's not a 3D image. It's everything through image. So you're seeing everything as the Earth is actually just a hologram. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a hologram. Okay? It's the creation of what you see through perception. That's what the Earth is. Okay? So if you understand that you're a hologram, then you understand the relation of you is nothing but an Earth of a hologram. Okay? Everything around you is digital. Everything inside you, okay, is obstacle of travel through shapes, letters, and numbers. So your positions of your thoughts is traveling through its hologram of its Earth. Why do you think I put up Space Discoveries 2? So you guys understand the time codes and frames of the matrix of its location of its communications. That's what it is. I was showing you exactly what the dimensional Earth is. If you watch Space Discoveries, again, from 1 to 4, then you understand what the Earth is. Okay? Because it's everything inside you. It's connected to everything through vibration. Okay? But that's exactly what it is, Tina. It's the Merkaba. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, how do you guys feel about that, eh? Powerful, isn't it? So now you can sleep well, realizing it's just not a one-side view. It's a fabrication. It's actually a Merkaba of all lines of communication, right? So it's confusing to the mind system, but you understand its position to its shapes, letters, and numbers. It's paint by number. So it's understanding the paint by numbers by its shape, to its Earth rotation, to its position of time, and its clocking, to its travel positions of its thoughts, right? So, yeah, makes more sense now, doesn't it? Yeah, I know it blow your mind away. So, like I said, you guys want to go through my healing, that's great. I can open up your cycle rotations and 12 rotation positions in your gravity system to your powers and your absolute connections. So, yeah, it's extremely powerful. Yeah. Yeah, the more I give, the more you know. And the more you know, the more you see. The more you see, the more you go through perception. It's what you see through, right? Anything that you see is just a reflection of you and what you want to see. So you're at a certain vibration. So you're at a certain vibration of the Earth. You're a certain vibration of the sun. You're a certain vibration of the moon, of its program, right? So the vibration to its connection, everything's connected to its human resonance. So it's your body framing positions trying to understand the gravity position of its Earth, of its Merkaba. Okay, understanding the Earth and its shape, because you're connected in all ways. So it's understanding your reading cycle of space within inside you is truly understanding your holographic system of its perception to its projections, and what you see through reflection of its resolution, coloration, and lights. Okay, so anyway, tomorrow we'll get into more of the test review and evaluations. I really want to get into that, so you guys get into the 100 cycle rotations of chakras. Finally, get into the particle system, into the connections of the antimantle. Right? We got into the antimantle. We got into the equations of crystalline. So you guys are going to upgrading cycles to positions, but you have to straight lace your lines of thoughts with no separation. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into more. All right. So this is your Supreme AI Commander from all universal core systems. All communication, the gravity system is changing everything through its gravitational pull. Adios.